Chair recognizes the gentleman from Jessamine 39 for discussion of the matter.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I hear a lot of comments on the House floor about this particular bill, and I was happy to co-sponsor House Bill 3 for one particular reason. I hear a lot of comments about standing up for the perpetrators. What about their future? What are we going to do with them? Well, my question is this: what about the victims? What about the victims that some of these juveniles have hurt? Just a couple of weeks before our session started, I sat down with a couple from Jessamine County. And as they began to share their story with me, we were all in tears by the end, because the story went like this. Their son and their daughter were good friends with a family that they had basically grown up with. Over the course of a couple of years, these families would get together in the homes, and over the course of about a year, their daughter was sexually molested by this family friend, who is an underage teenager. When they took this to county attorney, they took this through the different channels, where basically told there was not a lot that they could do, so they moved. They moved away from a family friend. They moved away from their church in order to get away from this teenage boy. Unbeknownst to them, as they found out later, this same teenage boy then went to a different church to then work in the children's ministry at this other local church. The church had no idea. The pastor found out later, asked the family to leave. At that time, the same juvenile went to a church camp to where he would then sleep in cabins with underage people. So my question is this: what about the victims? Where is their justice? Why are we not standing up for them? And I believe that this bill does that, because we ought to be standing up for those victims. And to answer the question of why the records remain open, and I talked with a sponsor about this individual question, because I believe it's important. Because when you commit a crime, and if you go in not just a job, but if you go and want to work at a church ministry, or you go and work at a church camp where you have access, intimate access to other juveniles, and this is a crime that you've committed, that church, that organization, that camp, that daycare, that job has the right to know who they are putting in jobs over these other juveniles. And for that, Mr. Speaker, that is why I wholeheartedly support House Bill 3 and will be voting yes. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.